Hey guys, it's Paul here with Toolmetrics, and I'm here to talk again about this 5.5 gallon air compressor that I picked up about a year ago now from California Air Tools. I got it on Amazon. I have a link below. I did notice that this particular model is currently unavailable with the aluminum tank, but there's a comparable one with a steel tank. I'll have a link for that one as well. If this returns with an aluminum tank, then I'll make sure that that link is working, but for now, it's not out there. But in any event, hopefully some of this commentary will apply to both the this model as well as similar models from California Air. It seems like they have a ton of different models out there, and I think some of them are specifically intended for sale through home centers. This one may have been specifically for Amazon, and I think Lowe's carried it. I do see the aluminum one available at a retailer or two online, so you might be able to find it as well. First of all, from my perspective, the reason that I bought this was a few reasons. One, I had a bigger upright compressor, and I found that it was just overkill for what I needed. I mainly use it to drive brads and finish nails, use it to blow things out after I've sanded them and getting ready for finish, fill up an occasional car tire. I never did anything, I never got a pneumatic sander, which is kind of why I bought a bigger one. I did a little bit of spray finishing, which doesn't really work well with this. I tried it, even though this is only 2.2 CFM. This gun says it requires 6. I tried it anyway, and it didn't atomize very well, as you would have expected. So I'm not going to use it for spraying. I've got an HVLP gun and system for that with a turbine. So another reason I got it is I was doing some work in the house and I wanted something quieter. Even for in the shop, I didn't like the old compressor that was much louder, maybe 90 decibels. So these are famous for being quiet. They're also famous for being durable, and so with good longevity. I've gone through a couple smaller pancake compressors, and it drives me crazy, so the motors just stop working on them. So these are supposedly built to last about 5 times longer than a typical, maybe they said 10 times longer. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and check that. But they claim that their inner workings are designed to run quite a bit longer than a typical compressor of this size, even though it is oilless. And so the reason that they get the quietness and the better longevity is they have a dual piston design, and that allows them to run this much slower. So they slow this down to, I believe it's 1680 RPM, which quiet things down and lessens the wear and tear. And they also add this muffler onto the system, which when I ran that with it removed, it was about 10 decibels louder. So I measure this, and I measured it at about 18 inches away and at 71 decibels. They listed at 60 decibels. Someone made the comment that 71 was pretty loud. And my feeling on that is that I find that most tools that have a noise rating associated with them, they seem to be a little bit overstated. I measured it at 10 feet away, and maybe that's the standard, because I know with dust collectors, cyclones, they typically measure them at 10 feet away because you're not generally standing 18 inches away from the compressor while it's running. And so at 10 feet away, I measured it at about 65 or 66 decibels. All I can say is, which is great. All I can say is it's quiet. And if you're used to a typical compressor that's going to be in the 80 to 90 decibel range, this is definitely a breath of fresh air when it comes to noise. So even though it's not as quiet as they claim, I'll still give it an A rating for noise. Everything about it I find to be really good quality. Everything is very tight. I did a 24-hour pressure test on it, and it lost 2 pounds, and that is well within spec for me. I've had a lot of these smaller compressors that were just notoriously leaky, and so generally I wouldn't leave it under pressure anyway, but if you're using it on a job site or in your shop, it's not going to cycle as much, because it's not leaky, and that's after a year. So, and because of that, it's going to cycle less. Then you'll get more longevity out of it, and that was probably part of the problem with the 2 compressors that I burned out in the past, is they were just leaking and running constantly. So yeah, for my purposes, this really hits the mark. For shooting brads and filling an occasional car tire, it does just great. You're not going to try to run a sander on this, or impact wrench or things like that that are more demanding on air consumption. But for my purposes, it has done just great. I love the portability. So it's with the aluminum tank, it's about 35 pounds. The steel tank version adds about 20 pounds to that, which is not insignificant. I love the fact that we've got handles on both sides. So for rolling it around the shop, really nice and easy. These big wheels and that front handle make it really portable, nice design for rolling around the shop. But when I need to pick it up and bring it into the house for a project or set it out in the back of my car, you can pick it up really easily with those two handles. And it's a joy to move around if you're used to a heavier design, or certainly an upright one. When I had that one, lugging it around was no picnic. Refresh cycle is about 2 minutes from completely empty. I can fill up the tank in, it was just over 2 minutes. I tested it a couple times. That's fine for me, it doesn't bother me, especially since it's quiet. I'm not in that big of a hurry to have it full. So while I'm on a job site, I just leave it full for the day anyway. So that works out really well. I love the drain valve on the bottom of this thing. I was really delighted in the unboxing video when I noticed that. And it has a design that I think is going to last. So this quarter turn valve is just a quarter turn and it's completely open. I've had some of those in the past that were so miserable and gummed up that I could barely open them after about a year. So this is a year later, and I've drained it a good number of times, and it just really works well. And I think with the aluminum tanks, probably I won't get the rust accumulation in there either. So I really like that aspect of it. Overall, I've been very happy with it. The only negative for me was when I first got it, it worked great. I did the unboxing, fired it up, everything was great. A couple days later, it sprung a leak at one of the welded seams, and it was a pretty bad one. It was definitely unacceptable. So I contacted the company. No problem. They did an RMA for me, and then I sent them my compressor, and I didn't hear from them for weeks. And so I contacted them, and they had lost it. They had lost my paperwork, and so they had no problem. They sent one out right away, and I got it, set it up, started using it, and I realized, this thing is heavier than I remember it. And so I took a magnet, stuck it to the side of it, and realized, okay, they sent me a steel tank. So I contacted them, no problem. We swapped it out again, and again, it was about a month, and contacted them again. Sure enough, they had lost it again. So they tracked it down, no problem, sent it out. And so it's been working great ever since. So other than those little hiccups, it's been a great compressor. It doesn't bother me too much, because ultimately I really like the product. I would definitely buy it again, even knowing what I know about the customer service. They were nice, friendly. I think it's a company that just scaled up very quickly over the last couple of years. It used to be kind of a specialty niche product, and now you can find them everywhere. So probably dealing with some growing pains. I'll cut them some slack. They're very nice people to work with, and I definitely ultimately feel really good about this compressor. Please feel free to ask any questions below. If I missed anything, I'll be glad to cover it for you. And hope you'll come back, subscribe to the Tool Metrics channel for more DIY woodworking and tool related videos. Thanks for watching.